There are moments when something comes at just the right time to appreciate it. A person you grow to love, a book that changes your perspective, a joke with a punchline that makes you laugh so hard after a horrible day, or a piece of entertainment that forever changes how you view the medium, providing you with an experience that you could have never expected. I'm sure you've had something do that for you. The older you get, the more likely it will, and it's not manifesting through a can-do attitude. You don't choose when it happens. It just does, whether you're ready for it or not. An example that has always had a special place in my heart was around 2014 with a little indie game called Hotline Miami. It caught my attention for a few months. I read preview articles about the game for PC Gamer. I watched Markiplier play it on YouTube, and it seemed pretty cool to check out. So I bought it with a Steam gift card and decided to give it a whirl. And after I played it, I was in love. Hotline Miami has always been there for me ever since I played it that first time. Nearly a decade later, it still has a massive hold over me. I dressed up as the main character for 3 different Halloweens. I attempted to start a Let's Play channel covering the game, where a lot of my commentary was incredibly forced, and the jokes landed with the skill of a baby trying to explain quantum physics.
The police. Oh, the police. The po-po. They're here. Not looking forward to it. Oh no, the po-po got me.
The game even influenced my YouTube profile picture. I drew a bizarre self-portrait in the setting. It's amateur, but I love it. This game means a lot to me, and my goal is to articulate why and how it may be for you too. Before we jump in, I want to give a heads up that this will have a content warning. It's a video game, so it's abstracted from reality, but oh boy, this game is brutal and not for the squeamish. If your immediate thought was, I've seen worse, then right on. I just want to throw up this warning for those who don't know what they're getting into. With that stated, let's begin. Hotline Miami takes place in Miami, Florida, in the 1980s, following the character unofficially called Jacket. We aren't given much to go off Jacket as a person, but instead, shown he's an effective tool. Every day, Jacket receives a call varying in subject, a babysitting gig, a delivery of cookies, etc. But each message is a code, leaning on Jacket's particular skill set, those of a professional killer sent on the Russian mafia. The game follows his life while experiencing moments of surrealism and often nightmarish imagery. But let's not talk about that too much, and instead focus on what makes the game amazing. Everything. Oh boy, this is going to be tough. There's a lot about Hotline Miami that makes it incredible for the uninitiated, but it also makes it difficult where to start. So let's slam open a door and talk about gameplay. In positive psychology, there's a term called the flow state, also known as being in the zone. It's a state where you're so immersed in what you're doing that everything else seems to melt away. You're so present in an activity that time seems to pass lightning fast. That's a rough way of putting it, but that's the gist. You can experience it in most activities, and you probably have at some point. Interests like sports, creating art, building something, or even a hobby I've yet to name. The core point is it's something that gets you invested in experience you are actively participating in, not passively. Another example included in this could be video games. Well, why am I talking about the flow state in this video, besides attempting to come across as smart for doing basic research? Because in my experience, Hotline Miami is a game that's so good at getting other players and myself into this state. Hotline Miami has a top-down perspective, giving you an omnipresent view of the level. The goal is to clear each stage until you're the only one left. Sounds easy enough. But the game will quickly humble you of that notion right when you start. Because with your bare fist, you can knock people down and perform a ground execution to finish them. But other enemies will not wait for you to do so. They will try hitting you and will have the same effect as a sports car colliding into you at Mach 10. One hit is all you need to die. You're a glass cannon. If you find a gun or weapon, you can kill most things in a single hit, but if you get smacked, you shatter. Though it's not impossible, you have various tools to help you out, and I'll even throw in some tips to get you started. It's vital to grab a weapon as soon as possible, not only to kill enemies, but also can be thrown to stun mobsters ready to shoot you. Guns can kill enemies in one shot, but the blaring of gunfire may alert enemies, hightailing it towards you, and doors can be used to stun enemies if in front of one. You can play the game as cautiously as you'd like, which can be great, but shockingly, You may do better by acting as a berserker and going ballistic, because the game rates your performance on a level, and combos are essential in making that score go up. Chaining together variations of kills and takedowns in succession, while challenging to pull off, can be rewarding if you live through the stage. If you play slowly and cautiously, it's unlikely you'll get many combos, and it'll probably be more frustrating when you die, compared to flailing your character through the level in an almost comprehensive choreography routine of throws, executions, and movement. All that matters is hitting fast and hitting hard. Death occurs very quickly in Hotline Miami, but it actually doesn't suck all that bad. Respawning is a button away and nearly instantaneous, and you come back at the stage you died at, not the entire level. So when it happens, it's fun not putting you back so far. It's like the game saying, that's a great try, but I think you can do better. After doing a couple of levels, you'll unlock new masks. These will give bonuses for your playstyle. A few examples would be the frog Zack, providing more time when chaining together combos, or Rufus the elephant, which lets you take one bullet before dying. Don John the horse lets you kill enemies by opening doors on them, or my favorite, Tony the tiger. This mask lets you kill enemies with your fists. No weapons are required. Most masks can be given for racking up high scores, but some are secrets that will wait for you to find them. And now, after giving an overview of gameplay, it feels appropriate to get into the good stuff. The Hotline Miami soundtrack is legendary. It's both incredibly fun to listen to, while also elevating the game to insane heights. Off the top of my head, I can only think of 3 other games for me where the soundtrack goes this hard, pushing the game into an even better experience with its soundtrack complementing it, and one is the game's sequel. I'm not very knowledgeable about the technical construction of music, but I love how it's used here. In combat, rhythmic, hyping loops convey the hectic tension of fights, energizing you to keep trying death after death until you claw out a victory. Like the most popular drug in the 80s, Hotline Miami's music combined with its gameplay creates this intoxicating experience that will have you reveling through a level. And just as impressive is how the game uses that soundtrack to convey its tone. You've heard what the game sounds like when combat happens. It's energetic and fun. But listen to the transition between these 2 tracks when it finishes. You're given this slow, unsettling track that fills you with dread, abruptly ending the energy with a harsh snap back to reality. You're in a room surrounded by corpses. Best to leave before anyone finds out. And once you're back in the safety of your car as the engine starts, you're greeted with this track showing how you did. The music does a great job at conveying what the game is going for, from its action to its downtime to even something else. It's not something inherently fun, it's something uncertain, complicated, and arguably the worst, ambiguous. It's time we talk about. The story of Hotline Miami is hard to express. It's one that, as you progress, you begin to question the legitimacy of what Jacket sees. That seed of doubt is planted right when you start the game. You're in a dark room with 3 masked individuals. 1. A man wearing an owl mask in the suit of a Russian mobster actively despises you. The second, a woman wearing a horse mask in the same clothes as the girl in Chapter 3. She seems more sympathetic than the others. And the final, a man wearing a chicken mask and the same jacket as you, bearing no anger towards you, but no compassion either, informing you of your past deeds and giving eventual prophecies of what will come. After completing Chapter 3, he asks you a series of questions, one of which is arguably the most iconic for the series. Do you like hurting other people? Hotline Miami could have just been a video game with its sick gameplay and soundtrack, and it would have been amazing. But the developers wanted to do something else, inspired by the films of David Lynch and the movie Drive, with its minimalist storytelling and use of violence. The game replicates these elements in this story. Most characters are unnamed, and the game explores Jacket's mental state. The 3 figures in the room can't be real, but why are they here? Why does this guy keep talking to me like an old friend and working at every establishment I visit? Who's giving me these phone calls, and how is this even possible? And I'm kicking myself for what I'm about to say. That's as far as I want to go about plot details. Most questions will be answered as you progress, especially in its sequel. But there's something magical about this first game where you don't quite understand what's going on, where the impossible keeps happening no matter how much you tell yourself it can't. It's a fever dream soaked in neon with roaring highs, crashing you back down to zero when it's over. A one-of-a-kind experience, that's for sure. And the question, do you like hurting other people, is never answered. Instead, it's something you think about. Because you kill a lot of people in Hotline Miami, and it may dawn on you that you enjoy doing it. It's not real, it's abstracted, and because of that, the violence doesn't mean anything. Valid explanations for enjoying ultra-violent media in video games. But then there's Hotline Miami, quietly sitting in a chair staring back at you and asking, or does it? And it's that question that I think about nearly a decade later. I love video games a whole bunch. This hobby has been amazing, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. But to most people, games are simply a form of instant gratification. They're to be ingested as entertainment, chewed on for as long as it's fun, then discard when something new comes along. And of course, entertainment is meant to entertain. Fun is so important in games. But that's not all they can be. They can be more than just a way to spend time. It's that reason why Hotline Miami means so much to me. It's a game that's so incredibly focused on what it wants to be. All of its pieces, from its gameplay to its music to its visual style and story, blend into this experience. One that is incredibly fun, but also sad. It's ambiguous and makes you really chew on it after you finish. It's the type of art that knows you better than you know yourself. A game that uses violence not just for enjoyment, but interrogates the player and shows not every problem can be solved with blunt force trauma or a clip of ammo. It's art that doesn't talk down to you, it respects the conclusion you come to. That feeling Hotline Miami gave me never went away. It's got a hold of me for ages, and I doubt it would let go anytime soon. It was my first personal experience of what games could be. I've had moments in games that got to me, where the fact they were fake didn't matter. But a game that got me to question the experience I was having and think about it for myself was a first. That bliss of realizing I just played something so special when the credits rolled is one of my strongest reasons for wanting to create and ultimately make a channel. To share the stuff that meant a lot to me with others, hoping that you feel the same way I did, or even better, giving an experience that reminds you that you're alive, in an arguably silly way. But there's no need to force stuff like that. If it doesn't click, or you're just not into it, that's okay too. The point is, I tried. There's something cool but also scary about making videos for the internet. It reflects what you care about, what you feel, and who you are. Every video is an attempt to make people care about something you do, a virtual specter that may outlast you depending on how things go. The ideas presented are always there, fresh for a first-time viewer or a fan seeing it after a long period. It's also deeply intimate. You may not know a viewer personally, but you share things you're passionate about that you may not express to anyone, not even your friends or family. And with something so personal, I find it really easy to get hung up on numbers or views, comparing it to other people's work to decide if something I made is successful. which is incredibly silly, but unfortunately, also true. But regardless of how this video performs, I'm really proud it finally exists. I've always wanted to cover this game, but needed to figure out how to do it properly. But as I write and record this, I know it's the best way I could have done it. Hotline Miami is one of my favorite video games of all time. I can't quantify it with a number, because I sure know I wouldn't be making videos about stuff I care about if it didn't exist. And a number ranging from fingers on a pair of hands can't do it justice. It showed up in the right time in my life during my teenage years, and I'm incredibly thankful it was there for that. And Hotline Miami has another lesson to teach. It shows that art made by two people can have just as much of an impact as one made by thousands. Thank you, Hotline Miami, for being so sick and an inspiration to making this channel possible. And thank you for listening.